What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Let me start with kind of a general overview of the community issues because they truly cannot be overstated. NASCAR 25 was sold to an entire community, yet continues to cater to a small and very select, some might say hand-picked group of creators. This game has been updated more than 10 times. Instead of addressing the problems for the majority of gamers who paid for it, this is what they've been doing. Sending out custom controllers and care packages to the people they trust with their image. This will never be me. And honestly, I don't want a custom controller. Like you, I want a game that works. If we've learned anything from NASCAR Ignition, if we've learned anything from EA's Game Changers program, it's this approach never ends well. In a short amount of time, the community will begin to see these creators as nothing more than shills. Their credibility will be damaged, and the game itself will remain stagnant. If that doesn't define Madden, I've got a backlog of 15 years of content to show you. Now, because some of you love when positives are brought up, let's start with one. We learned last night in my All-Star race that you can drive through the garage area. And to some, that's a fun little Easter egg, a chance to drive like a real driver and see the attention to detail at each track, but to me, it's just a misplaced priority. Because while I can drive through the infield for no reason, I still can't drive my car down pit lane. So with that out of the way, let's move to the real issues. And the biggest one, of course, is something that should have never happened in the first place. This race. All of this could have been avoided if the game had simply allowed me to skip or simulate the event. Keep in mind, I never actually qualified for the All-Star race. I was just placed into it, as if I'd won a fan vote that never really happened, but I think I understand why. What If made a comment to me about this. And it seems that because the game mistakenly tracks the All-Star race as a regular season event, that is why you can't skip it. And I know some might just brush that off. But I want you to understand, this game calculated the All-Star race as race number 14 and took the stats, other than the win, into account. And if you brush that off, if you say that's a small detail, if you proclaim that's a nitpick, you're totally missing the point. Not every driver competes in that race. So when you take that race's data, you'll know that 22 drivers suddenly have boosted stats the rest of the field doesn't even have an opportunity to get. Now, you're going to tell me that's not an immersion-breaking issue? And honestly, if anyone had played the game, with those shiny new controllers they were sent, it seems like this kind of thing would have been immediately noticed. Now, I'll understand what I'm about to talk about is an argument that can be summed up with, well, if you play the game in unconventional ways, you'll get unconventional results. Fine. But we also need to start normalizing testing the game properly before release. Simple things like blocking pit lane or blocking the pit entrance should not cause the entire field to stop moving. And I would also create the very real argument that if a car stops on the track, then shouldn't the game know to throw a caution? When 22 cars stop on the track and the game realizes that it's not scoring laps for anyone, does the coding not understand that something is wrong? I mean, even beyond that, we're still dealing with one of the oldest issues in racing games, pit logic. It's 2025, and every single car in this game uses the same pit entry and exit path. This means that if you're a lapped car like Cody Ware and you're just trying to get through the race, if you're a damaged car and you're just trying to finish out the laps, or you're the leader racing for the win, you are going to pit the exact same way on the exact same line. The game doesn't even distinguish between these different situations. It's unbelievable. Go find me a real NASCAR race where Cody Ware and Kyle Larson share identical pit entries and exits. And we're not talking about anything revolutionary here. We're not talking about anything difficult. Okay, slowing down earlier, entering lower, stay on the apron longer. All of these things would add realism while fixing the problem entirely. And yet somehow developers focused on letting us drive through the garage area. At this point, I think it's clear, right? They're scrambling to save this game. The 10 plus patches, the care packages. Let's prioritize what really matters, which is the game in the casual gamer's hand. Why couldn't all these patches be condensed down to maybe one meaningful patch? Even with all this effort, why haven't they addressed the core issues? You know, the pit logic is atrocious. It's embarrassing. The AI doesn't know when to pit or why to pit. In the time that I've spent live streaming this game, we've seen cars pit from the lead at Bristol with 10 laps to go. We've seen cars refuse to pit for fuel under caution so that they can drive in under green a few laps later. We've also seen fuel mileage is extremely inconsistent. AI cars can somehow go multiple laps further than the player. But what's important to understand is it's always calculated in laps. So going 2 laps longer at Talladega is around 6 miles. They do that. But when they get to Dover, they do the same exact thing when it's only 2 miles. If they were calculating based on distance, which is what fuel mileage is based off of, why aren't they driving more miles on that fuel as opposed to just laps? Because the game is very much unbalanced. It should be a 1-to-1 ratio. The user and the AI. And when the logic completely breaks, the game's only solution is to just have a car spin out so a caution can be displayed. And I'm not going to sit there and tell you that it's some game-breaking bug, but what I am going to tell you is it's incredibly noticeable that a single car spin just happens in front of you, and it feels very lazy. And while some might say, Ryan, lazy, that's not the right word. Okay, well, if it's not lazy, can we agree that it's a lack of care, it's a lack of testing, or maybe, just maybe a belief that us gamers, we're so stupid that we won't notice? Now, let's close by talking about this feature that lets you drive around in the garage area. In theory, it's a cool idea, right? It's a realistic way to maybe retire your car. You know, you drive it in the garage area, you call it a day. But you realize you can't retire your car in this game. So there's no real purpose to this. It might have made sense if, cars can have mechanical failures, but that just doesn't exist. Right? If you could watch an AI car, maybe go in with suspension damage, engine damage, turn behind the wall, perhaps it adds something to the game. But none of those things happen. It's just an empty visual of you driving in the infield. It serves no purpose. And that kind of brings this full circle. This is the exact kind of logic that creates problems. When you don't have the Mexico City road course in the game, the solution isn't to replace it with the All-Star race. You don't just fill in the slot, because the All-Star race is an exhibition. It's not an event that should be treated as if it's a regular race. So instead of simply acknowledging, hey, we're missing this track, let's move on, you create an entire issue. Now race 14 is treated like an actual points event. The data is taken from that event. And I'm sure someone will say, oh, it's just a simple oversight. But I think it proves everything wrong with this game's direction. They either don't care or they think you're stupid. And I really don't mind whichever one you want to pretend it is. Because in my opinion, they're both right. If you're dumb enough to think this company wants to make a good game and puts out garbage like this, then hold on to that belief. But I, for one, will sit here and tell you all of this is done with intent. They know exactly what is broken in this game. They're trying to hide it, they're trying to mask it, and they honestly hope that you were too dumb to pick up on it. Can't wait for patch 12 or 13. And I've said just about every live stream I've done, and I'll say it to conclude this video. It is a matter of time before all of these patches corrupt the save files already existing in this game. Okay? This is something that every gaming company deals with. EA Sports historically has dealt with this. Okay? It's a natural thing. You're trying to change so much post-release, like, I don't know, making sure an all-star race points or stats don't carry over, that you corrupt the already existing files and you make gamers start over. Nothing, understand this, nothing will destroy this game faster than every creator already on this space that has put in 2, 3, 4, 8, 20 hours of creating content in their career or in their season, have all of that lost because a patch comes out that corrupts those files. Those gamers will not want to start over. The views on these videos are already dwindling because, in my opinion, the overall casual gamer has played this game, sees no replay value in this game, and sees it for the poor product it is for all the reasons, and in some cases more, that I described in this video. Get your game together. Stop treating gamers like we're stupid, and stop catering to a handful of gamers you want to be the voice box for your company. It's not going to work. If for no other reason, I will sit here and confidently tell you, when you want to treat me like a Muppet and give me a broken NASCAR game, I'll let Madden sit on the shelf for a little bit, and there will be no way that I won't be back. In the week! With more commentary.